Uche Igwe is an Africa analyst and a fellow at the London School of Economics, and he joins us live now from Abuja. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. Now, there's serious escalation taking place there in the DRC. What can we expect moving forward in terms of finding a resolution?
Well, I think that the only way forward is for African leaders, the African Union and the East African community to summon an emergency meeting. I learned that the president of Kenya, President William Ruto, has already invited the East African community leaders to an emergency meeting tomorrow, Wednesday. And I think that it is important for the president of DRC and the president of Rwanda to be in that meeting so that the peace deal, several peace deals that have been signed, should be implemented. And this is an emergency. This is because there is a looming humanitarian crisis in Goma, which should be avoided. Again, I suggest that the M23 leaders, the rebels, should be in the room at some point during the conversation so that there will be a practical and implementable pathway to peace.
What's the likeliness of that happening, of having the M23 rebels in the negotiating room?
Well, I think that it will be difficult to shave. In fact, an African proverb says that it is impossible to shave somebody's hair in the person's absence. The M23 rebels are at the center of this crisis. And I think that apart from presidents talking to each other, and in this case, the president of Rwanda and the president of DRC, it will also be important at some point to bring the rebels in the room to negotiate, so that it will be important that a long-standing implementable agreement is reached at this time. As you know, in the past, there have been several peace agreements which ended up not being implemented.
You mentioned the looming humanitarian crisis. Thousands have already been displaced. How is this exacerbating that crisis in Goma?
Well, it is, as you know, the Bamulenge are said to be Tutsis, and many of them are moving back in Rwanda. And as you know, the history of Rwanda, there's a fragile, there's fragility in that region, a history of fragility. And I think that the movement of these Congolese Tutsis back into Rwanda, could also trigger an already fragile peace situation in Rwanda. So yes, that is something that many analysts suspect that it can be a trigger on the side of the Rwanda. And as you know, the Rwandan army has been speculated to be the supporters of the M23 rebels.
Africa analyst Uche Igwe, thank you so much for being with me here on the NewsHour. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.